My name is Audrey Thompson, and I'm here today to meet lots of people who have the same vision. It's a Christian happening, but it's linked into businesses, community, and everything. We're all here.
So my name is Adam, and I am here today because my wife and I are planting a church in Mexborough in Doncaster.
Hi, I'm Deborah Green, OBE. I'm the founding director of ROC, Redeeming Our Communities, and I am really passionate about churches working together with the community organisations, the civic leaders and the public services towards transformation in our towns and cities across the UK.
My name's Tim Coleman. I'm the Communications Director for a charity based just east of Wakefield called City Vision. And the other half of the week, I work for the business which is tithed out to create the charity. And so I'm also a manager within a pensions consultancy, a pensions communications consultancy. So I feel like I have the privilege of being both marketplace and pulpit. And I think a lot of what's been going on here today is the discussion, certainly in this track, but some of the stuff in the main auditorium has been about bringing church, business leaders, civic leaders, community voluntary sector groups together, all for the same purpose of moving Doncaster forward.
I'm David Stevens. I'm the Vicar of Doncaster Minster, and I've come here because I believe strongly that we need to witness together as a church communities and actually to make a big difference to this community in which we live.
I think the highlight of the day is just the fact that this is happening, really, that you're getting hundreds of people together from across Doncaster, building on the 20 years of unity that they've been fostering here. The relationships are really tangible. You can see the friendships, you can see the way that they've worked together, prayed together. But the fact that they're now going to the next level and coming together as Movement Day Doncaster is brilliant. And I think probably the other highlight would be when the civic leaders joined us at lunchtime, and we had the mayor, we had the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, we had different people from different spheres of civic life come together to talk to the church really about what can the church do to support their efforts in transformation.
I have thoroughly enjoyed the breakout sessions with Mark Green and engaging with equipping and setting a culture of church that is about those being fully committed disciples in the majority of their life, the 110 hours we spend at work with family and with friends, as opposed to the 10-15 hours that we volunteer in church a week, and making sure that emphasis and bias is on the greater majority of our time and not the smaller majority when the church comes together.
Just coming together and knowing that there are hundreds of people, not just a little tiny handful of us.
My highlight from the day so far has been the conversations we've just had in the track, the business and civic track, just around culture, understanding culture and how to challenge culture, sometimes within churches. I was talking to a business leader who is the only business person that he knows within his own church, and some of the difficulties he faces within his church, and feels very lonely sometimes and as a single voice. And yet we were encouraging him to keep going and to keep challenging some of the status quos that he sees within his own church culture, and recognizing that actually it's one God, one kingdom. There's no separation between marketplace and pulpit.
The highlight, I think, were the stories that were shared about what can happen within communities when they work together. And actually, I think it's a recognition that it's only by working together that we will really make a difference, particularly if we think strategically on how we do that and engage with the civic life here.
I think it's important to Doncaster because I think on this kind of day, we might be able to move beyond the churches and involve other sections of the community who are doing good work, because a lot of the stuff that we were doing and saying today is very relevant to what we're all doing. And I think that part of our church's movement moving out is to move something like this kind of a day out.
I think Movement Day is incredibly important because it brings together the wide range of traditions and theological opinions and the correct way of doing things that we all have, and lets us engage with and experience different expressions of church while staying true to what we believe God has called us to do, and collectively moving forward so that we have a network of churches working together, just completely transforming Doncaster, as opposed to scattered churches trying to do it all on their own.
I think Movement Day is important in Doncaster because it really mirrors a model that works. We've seen it working in the United States, we've seen it working over in Australia, we've seen it working in London, but we need to see it working in each of the towns and cities. And the challenge when I was in London last October was, well, could we have some mini movement days around the UK? And of course, somebody's got to pick that up as a challenge. And those are some of the people who are here today looking at their own transformational models and where do we go from here.
It's really important for Doncaster because it clearly has been on a journey already in terms of growth of unity between church leaders, denominational leaders, and then between those and other third sector groups and civic leaders and business leaders as well. And it feels like it's at a really important junction in its journey, and obviously part of a journey is to celebrate what's gone before, and that's what today is about, but so much of it is also about looking forward. And we're hearing about wonderful projects and the sense that Doncaster's on the up, but there's no room for complacency, and you get that sense from everybody here. How do we continue to work together to make a difference?
Because I think we all already do good work. I think we could do just so much more if we worked strategically and actually knew exactly what each other were doing and find out what the community needs and then engage with that.